Okay, hello everybody. We are here today. I'm here with Angie Brown, who is, I'll let her introduce herself actually in a second, but she's here to talk about time, saving your most precious commodity, which is time. So Angie, if you just give a quick introduction to yourself,
no problem.
And then we'll crack on.
Brilliant. Good morning, everyone. My name's Angie Brown and I run a business management company. And I also I do some training, software training and things like that. I've been working for 33 years in corporate and the last 4 or 5 years as a freelancer. And I'm here today with Tanya to show you how you can curve off some of that time to make your time more precious and look after it better. So should we get stuck in, Tanya?
Yeah, just to put it into context with this group, just before Angie gets stuck in. So when you're creating a marketing strategy and plan, it's actually finding that time. Once you've decided to do it, it's actually finding and putting aside the time. So this is why I felt this would be a great one for Angie to share into the group, because she's got some great tips that will help you actually, work through that and, determine when put that time aside, when you work on it, how you encourage yourself and keep yourself motivated as you go through, and so you keep that time ring fence so you can actually work on your strategy and plan. Because again, you can have all the best will in the world to do it, but if you don't commit to doing it and putting that time aside, you will get part way through and it will never get finished. So without further ado, I will pass over to Angie.
And
okay.
No problem. The key word there was definitely commitment.
Yeah,
you do need to commit to this. Yes, definitely.
Yes, fantastic.
Okay, so let's get started. So time management, as we know, we all have 24 hours in a day, but it's how you spend those hours and how you split them out to make the most optimal time for you and your business and what it's you're doing for your clients. It's also, with what you could learn from here, it's something that maybe that you could put onto your clients as well to make them easier and make their life easier, and for it to come back to you in an easier way. So you helping them to manage their time as well. So I want to talk to you about 6 steps to help you get back on track, so that you have more time at home and more time with your family, but optimal time with your work. So step 1 for me is very, very important. It's called the brain dump. And this is where you would really just grab a notepad if you wanted to, or type something out. So you'd have a piece of paper and you would literally get all of those tasks that are running around in your head out onto the piece of paper. It's really, really a fantastic thing to do. It really will help you free up what's in your head and work out exactly what it is that you need to get done. So I would suggest you spend at least half an hour just in quiet with a pad and paper and just write everything down. It could be related to home, to work, to anything to do with schools or shopping or anything else. Just put it down. And then what you would do after that, once you've got your list, is to then prioritize it. Work out what's urgent, what can wait, and what will give you financial reward, because you may well want to do those parts first. And also, if it's not urgent and you don't want to do it, work out if it's something that maybe you could later on outsource. So as Albert Einstein says, paper is to write things down, to remember. Our brains are used to think, and I think this is really key when it comes to that brain dump. Just get it out. It's the best way to deal with anything. Step 2 for me is to create your to-do list. So you've now got your list of things that you've got to do. And then you need to sort of kind of put them into some sort of perspective of how you're actually going to do it, because most likely your list has more than 50 items on, because our head swims with so much detail. So what I would suggest you do is write a list for a daily task. So for example, if you're writing your list on a Monday, for Tuesday, put only 6 things down on your list. If you put any more than that, you're going to get up in the morning, look at that list and go, I just can't handle that, that's too much. But if you've got 6 things on there, it's incredible how you will actually just think, oh, that's okay. But always tackle the worst task first. It's so important that you do this. And I think if you were to read Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog, it's exactly what it tells you to do. You'll be surprised that getting that horrible task out the way first gives you a sense of euphoria when you've done it. You're like, woohoo, I can crack on and do the rest now. And it's amazing how quick you'll get the rest of those tasks finished, nailed, and you'll just be like, okay, what am I going to do with the rest of my day now? Look at me. You know, it's amazing. But also, when you have written your list, and I always suggest doing it the day before, read it before you go to bed, because I know that sounds a bit like you don't want to have all that stuff buzzing around in your head while you're sleeping, but actually it has the opposite effect. You may wake up in the morning and find that some of those things that you've read on that list of tasks to do that you weren't sure how to do, in the morning the solution comes to you because you've been sleeping on it. Sounds crazy, but give it a go. Okay, so either run the day or the day runs with you. Now that's a fantastic quote from Jim, and honestly this sort of thing happens to us all the time. We get stuck into something and then you come to the end of the day and you go, what the heck have I achieved? And most likely you'll say, not as much as I'd hoped. So step 3 for me also is to cluster your tasks. Now this is where you may have a set of appointments that you've got to get arranged that you've not done yet, and it's a list that's building up and building up. Could be paying bills, raising invoices, you know, doing those proposals for your clients that you know to help you get money in. So these things are really, really key. I also think that the day that you think that you need to film something or take loads of photographs of yourself, I know, doing selfies, doing lives and stuff like that, you spent time in the morning to put your makeup on. Why not try and bulk all those tasks in one? So, you know, you've got your makeup on, you feel great, you may just want to change your top or something and just, you know, do the various different things for your social media, and it's all there. So it's fantastic use of time for clustering tasks. A lot of people I know that have filmed their courses, but also thought, oh, I'll do a live into something or I'll record something. And then they've now got those assets to use at another time. Blocking time out. I think this is where your commitment comes from. This is so, so important for you to be able to run your day properly. If you block out the time in your diary, you then have to adhere to that time that you've blocked. Don't go thinking, oh, you know, I can just go off and do something else now. Commit to it. Just because it's your time and you've put it there, it's your time, it's precious. You should really stick to what you've got there. So for example, I would also put in my diary anything to do related to my son. I've got a 15-year-old who, as I was telling Tanya earlier, he lolloped back to school yesterday, you know, but he has now a whole load of things that have come in on email. I have football that starts this Saturday, so it's all in my diary. I have commitments for him to do various things after school or before school. So all of that goes into my diary. It's important. It's important to my family so that we make sure that everything's kept on track. So we stick to our plans in our diary. He has access to the family diary. I don't know if you have to be able to do that too, but that always works for us. So include your home and work things, include lunch breaks and other breaks, and please make sure you have a break, because you cannot run all day and expect to do really well all day without having a proper break for you. Now, I don't know if you know of a book called Build Your Business in 90 Minutes a Day. It's written by Nigel Bottrell and Martin Gladish. And, you know, I don't know if you can see, but I will probably show you later. But it's a fantastic book. And this really will help you with that time blocking. It basically, and this is very basic, but it's important to structure your time in 90 minutes. That might work for you. For some people, half an hour is enough, so they do Pomodoro. But for this, I think 90 minutes is fantastic, because you have a block of time where you're focusing and concentrating, and then you can have a break and then you start again. But if you block your diary out in that way, or even block it for an hour and then 2 hours, and give yourself different tasks in those times, you'll find you'll have so much more output at the end of the day. And find out when is your optimum time. Now, some people are early birds and love to get up super early, you know, and that doesn't work for everybody. But if that's your best time, do the work for your business in that time. Or if you've got a horrible task that you need to do that then, because that's when you're at your optimum and you're happy. Now, if you're a night bird, you're going to probably move that on to the later part of the day, or for example after lunch or just before lunch. You know when's best for you, but use that time for the tasks that you know that you really need to concentrate on, because that will show you that those tasks will get done super quick. And time isn't the main thing, it's the only thing. And do you know what? It is, because time is important to all of us. Now, the focus is very important. I actually switch off all my notifications on my phone. I limit the time to view my emails, so I may look at them at say 10 o'clock in the morning, and then again at 3 p.m. I very rarely look at them in between that. I also check my junk mail, because a lot of important thing goes into junk mail these days. Don't know what's going on with the mailing systems lately, but everything seems to go in there. So make sure that you check your junk mail and switch it to a whitelist if it's important to you. And you can use systems to help you, such as the Pomodoro system. So that will be, working for 25 minutes and then having a 5-minute break, but properly working and focusing in that time. And also that you do that 4 times as you've built up like 2 hours worth of work. Using timers is really good. You can use timers on your phone, or there are apps you can use, or you can go onto the YouTube even and find timers to help you. Now, focus is key, because every time you get a notification or an interruption, it can take you 26 minutes to get back on your task. So, try and block them out. Remove your phone from the room if you're working in an office. If you're at home, put the phone in the kitchen, carry on working in the bathroom, whatever it is that you do. But do try to stick to that, because you will find that you can get so much more done. Now, I do know that a lot of people use their phones for their business as well, but just switch off the emails. Don't look at the emails, don't look at the notifications. Stop getting over to Procrastiland. I mean, I know there is a procrastination city around here, and it's called Procrasta shopping, Procrasta hoovering. There's so many things to get in your way to stop you doing the work that you need to get done. And at the end of the day, that work, when it's done, it brings in the money, it makes your life easier. So it's really key to do that. So outsourcing is our next bit. And this is step 6. And now this is really, for me, very important. Outsourcing, it's one way of actually letting your business grow. It helps you to, let me start again, because actually you don't start your business to think, oh, great, admin for the rest of my life, love it. That's not what we're doing. We're going, oh, I love doing this social media stuff for my clients. I'm going to really try and pull in my clients, spend time with them, And in the background, there's this huge mountain of stuff that you know that you need to get done at some point. So just think about it. How much is an hour of your time compared to what an hour of support time is? Now, if you look on this slide here, you'll see VA support, for example, is around £27. So that's the new average. It used to be 25. You can get some that are cheaper, you can get some that are much more expensive, that are specific to that field. But just think about it though. An hour of your time, is that equates to an hour of their time, or do you earn more in that hour? Is it more important? You could be earning lots of money to pay for VA support every so often, and that can be ad hoc support. It's not, you don't have to commit too much. Everyone's different. So have a look and investigate, but also create some processes and standard operating procedures in your business, because this will help you when you do need to outsource. So for those tasks, sit down, write them down if you want to, or record by using Zoom or Loom or whatever system you use. Record what you actually do on your computer to get those tasks done. And then you have a standard operating procedure. Then you can give that to whoever it is that's coming to help you, whoever you're outsourcing to, and they'll know exactly what they need to do to fulfill that part of your business. So can you afford not to grow, really? Okay, any questions? I zipped through that.
Right, thank you, Angie. That was it was fantastic. It was as brilliant as it was. the first time I heard it, which is why I wanted you to put it in this group. Just some brilliant advice in there, and you know, especially sort of relevant to the topics that I share in this group. The Nigel Botterill. So I came across Nigel Botterill when I first started my business, and the 90 minutes a day, and I'm one of those people who have cut it down to 30, has been one, without doubt, one of the things that has helped me set up, grow my business, keep it going. And people have said to me, how do you put out so much content? How do you get so much things done? And it's actually putting aside that time. And I can't recommend that enough, just blocking out that time in your diary. And it's also quite funny, several times in this group, I have said about junk. Angie pointed out the junk mail. For some reason, important messages randomly, they can just randomly start, and you'll be working with a client and they'll go, "Well, did you get that email?" And you're like, "No." Or yours go astray. So I've just been saying to people, and I've started doing it, you just check your junk mail. It takes you 30 seconds once a day, and you'll be amazed what you'll find in there.
Mine's empty because I can check it twice a day. It's empty, so good.
Yeah. Or you one step better. I don't empty mine. I might start doing that, but yeah, I do check through it, and yeah, you'll be amazed what you'll find in there, and there's no rhyme nor reason as to what ends up in there half the time. So yeah, and also outsourcing, so important as well, because again, as you said, there's so many tasks that, you know, have a look at, you know, what you're doing, and could you be outsourcing it to somebody, you know, looking at what you earn per hour, and if some of those tasks you could be outsourcing to somebody who's, you know, that you're paying them less than what you're earning an hour. So again, and I loved your tip about also recording standard operating procedures. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and that's something I'll look at doing as well, because again, makes it so much easier, I think, in explaining. So
you create a library of jobs that you know someone else can do. What if you're poorly in your business and you need someone just to step in?
That's
video to show them.
So important. So any questions? I think there's been a couple of viewers. We can we can leave it as it is. We can see you on the live, Angie. Or is it me you can see? Oh, it's me at the moment. But just if anyone has any questions, and you're feeling shy now, just put them in later. We will be looking at the feed and the comments, and we'll pop in and answer any questions anybody has. And if you want to stop sharing, and then we can go back to full screen, and I'll give you a chance to just sort of share a bit about how you can help people personally. So if anyone's interested.
I actually have just written 35 awesome tips as well. That's in addition to some of the things that I've got going on there. And I'm just starting now my own Facebook group called Business Nuts and Bolts. And basically, it's about showing people how to do the things rather than me doing it for them. Because all the time I've been doing all the standard operating procedures and things like that. But now I'd like to show them how, using the skills that I've learned. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm building that up to create a membership that will have the trainings of all of those things as well. And so it's
exciting stuff. Okay, well, show me the link later, and I'll make sure that goes into the post with this video as well. So if people are interested in joining, I will join, because that sounds.
It's also actually linked to the tips. So the tips, then you get a series of emails.
Oh, right. So so the automated. Also, if the people download the tips, where can they find the tips?
I can share that with you.
Okay, you can share that with me.
Shall I pop that into the chat, or shall
so you share that, and I'll put that on the post afterwards. Where people can download the tips and everything. So fantastic. Oh, exciting. Okay, does that show up? I'm not sure that showed up on the live. But we can share that. I'll add that into the post after we finish today. So thank you once again. There's no questions in the live feed now, so if anybody, feel free to ask questions afterwards. We will pop in and answer them during the day as and when we can. And yeah, thank you for, I think there was a couple of viewers, thank you for those who were able to pop in live, and thank you to anyone who comes and watches it later. So, and again, thank you, Angie. Again, it was just as brilliant as it was. I'm so, you know, I was watching again. This is why I got you to come talking to the group, because it's just so relevant to, well, to business in general. There's so many tips generally, but again, for planning and building strategies, and just being knowing to block out all those tips around blocking time, about eating the frog, about all those things. Also, there was just before we jump off the book, you said you were going to show the book quickly.
Oh yes,
the Nigel Botterill book as well. So
this is the book, and it's absolutely brilliant. In fact, that was gifted to me, and I've gifted one to somebody else, so I paid it forward too. But it's absolutely brilliant, really. It's worth a read, and it's not a tiresome. The lettering, you know, it's a good font.
He writes in a really, really easy style to read. I've been one-time member of Entrepreneur Circle, so I've read quite a bit of Nigel's stuff. And who was the other author that he's done it with?
It was Martin Gladish.
Martin Gladish as well. So I don't know Martin Gladish, but based on what I know of Nigel Botterill, there is going to be lots of good stuff in there. So I'd recommend grabbing yourself a copy of that as well.
Yes, you can actually access their free 90-minute business building kit, which is worth £399, which is also available because you've got the book.
Right, as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I'm sure there's stuff freebies as well he'll have on the Entrepreneur's website, Entrepreneur Circle website as well, around 90 minutes a day. But again, as I say, that has been a cornerstone to me building my business, is just blocking out that time, turning off distractions. And that's key as well. Make sure you switch and you block that time out. And if 90 minutes is the ideal, but again, I've cut it down because I will work a shorter day. But do what works for you. What's the piccolo? What was the system? Quickly, Pomodoro. You sounded Italian.
It's like a tomato, so a tomato timer. Think of it that way. Tomato timer. Remember Pomodoro tomato. But so basically, you work for 25 minutes, pure focus, and then you break. Then you break for 5, and then you focus back in for 25. And you do that 4 times. And it gives you a couple of hours of great work. You're surprised how much you get into.
That sounds like the system I used when I was revising for my GCSEs, but I don't think they called it that. But and that definitely. That definitely worked, and that's that perfect, as you say, that make sure you put in that 5-minute break.
Definitely. And don't go back to the same subject if you can help it, because you'll take longer to get back into that. Start a fresh one, you know. So that's great for when you've got lots of tasks to get done from your task at 6.
So you see, Angie's full of all these wonderful tips and minefields. So I can't wait I'm going to have a look at those 35, because I imagine, you know,
there's some funny ones in there as well. Just a bit my humour.
I definitely can't wait. Anyway, so we're going to say goodbye. So thank you everybody for watching, depending on when you're watching this. And again, thank you, Angie. That was just fantastic.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. No, very welcome. Bye bye everyone.